The vision for the company here is to make basic wear affordable for all Nigerians and eventually export that. My name is Chekwa Sokafo. I'm the founder and CEO of ONCHEK. We manufacture plain t-shirts under the brand name Maroc. We're trying to do that by using 100% local supply chain. That's from local cotton, local labels, local thread, local everything. Uncheck started as an e-commerce company in 2016. We were operating out of New York. We were trying to use African luxury brands. Since they produce locally, they can increase the demand and create jobs for people who work for them. And then in 2018, during the FIFA World Cup, I collaborated with two designers, Nigerian designers, Orange Culture and Shem Paranelli. What we did was to make Super Eagles inspired jerseys in Nigeria, and we produced it in Nigeria. So I had to come back to Nigeria to kind of manage that production. So while I was doing that, I still had in my mind, like, how can I just use the opportunity that I've seen to create a product that can create massive jobs locally. We chose t-shirts as a start because it's used for campaigns, marketing campaigns, political campaigns. So we make just plain t-shirts at this point, but we're slowly looking to make sportswear and more importantly, make underwear, affordable underwear made with 100% cotton. January 2019, we leased a factory here in Lagos. And we started. Fast forward to this 2022, we have 200 employees. We've made over 2 million garments. We're the most recognized Nigerian brand in the plain t-shirt market locally, and we're looking to export as well.
Some of the benefits of cotton farming, especially in Nigeria, is the textile and the food industry. Cotton is a big deal there. It's raw material for this shirt I'm putting on, so it's a large market, and it's something that can reduce unemployment generally in Africa, not only in Nigeria.
So fast forward July of 2022, we were already trialing our 10-hectare farm in Onikonga village in Ibadan. With about 10 farmers that came as a cluster in that farm. That's how I sort of learned a little bit more about cotton farming.
I met Chekwa Sokafo February 2022, and we got talking. For the Indigenous Farmers Cooperative, it's just the idea of clustering, and that is where the partnerships synergize, where we have Uncheck as our major buyer. ONCHEK funds the inputs, the farmers contribute activities on the farm, thereby owning the project. One of the MDs of Premier Hotels in Ibadan, he said, "Helen, do you know about the cotton soup?" I said, "I've never heard that before." He said, "It's one of the most expensive soup you can prepare, and the leaf serves as herbs too."
How can we make products with circularity in mind that are more sustainable? How can we make sure that our farmers are having more using sustainable farming practices? So these are times to ask ourselves, like, what fiber of the future should we use? Right? Should we try to build a petrochemical facility to make polyester? Or do we want to do R&D to make to use bamboo fibers? Right? As a garment factory, we use fabrics to make our products. So even though we've made over 2 million garments, we could have made 5 to 7 million garments. The biggest challenge is having the raw material, that's these fabrics, to make these products. The main reason for that is a lot of textile companies just don't exist. So we have maybe 1 or 2 suppliers. So we are currently in the process of vertically integrate to about a 4,000 ton per year, so we can meet customer demand.
Here we are using drone. We can map your land. We can have data, accurate data. It looks like a simulation, but here we are. We have practiced it, we have executed it, and we are saying to the world that that is the way to go.
To get a t-shirt, you have to have like 5 big processes. So there's the cotton. So when you farm, you harvest the cotton. And then there's ginning. So what the ginning does, it separates the cotton seed from the cotton lint. So That's now the cotton lint. So the cotton seed can now be used for seed oils and things like that. The cotton lint is now sent to a spinning factory, and the spinning factory spins the cotton lint to cotton yarn. Then a knitting factory uses the cotton yarn to now knit the fabric, and then a dyeing facility then dyes the fabric to a color. That's now when we as a garment factory buys the fabric. So that entire supply chain is severely challenged because 2022 there's just 2 spinning factories that are functioning that can sell to other companies. Other people, probably smaller spinning factories, kind of spin for their own use. So we're looking to become a knitting and dyeing facility, hopefully in the nearest future. But for that to happen, we have to make sure we're going to have enough cotton yarn, because if we vertically integrate without making sure we have the right supply, then we will build a facility or integrate it to a facility that doesn't have enough raw material.
I'm hopeful that in the future, we are going to see more of government support to this laudable project.
The fact that we have solved the garmenting part, which tends to be the more challenging part, I feel can easily solve the other one. Nigeria can be like a powerhouse of textile if we do a couple things, right? So the first has to be political will. And like I said, this has to go through the entire supply chain. If whatever the problems are not solved, it just doesn't work. So I'll give you an example. We are sort of in talks with some northern company, the spinning company that's been shut down for decades, but in contact with us because they've seen that we're trying to grow and we need more cotton yarn. And they're working with their government to bring that facility back up, right? This facility used to employ thousands of people, 10, 20, 30 years ago. So if they're going to start because of us, imagine what will happen if there's 10, 20 people or 10, 20 companies in the garmenting space.
We are using that output to solve a major problem. The problem of Forex. This thing is solving a major gap. It is non-oil exports.
The U.S. Department of Agriculture visited our farm in December of 2022 just to see firsthand our success in planting BT cotton in Ibadan, Oyo State, which is the southern part of Nigeria. Rebuilding a country's textile industry cannot be done by one company. It requires very strong partnerships with different important players, from governments, other textile mills, investors, farmers, and even consumers. Thankfully, we've been able to come this far. Now we're ready to go even further with partners who see the potential in the textile industry, partners who are interested in a massive job creation in our women and youth, partners who are interested in our collective nation building.
As we grow, we're looking to use the African Continental Trade Agreement, the AfCFTA. We want to take advantage of that to export to neighboring African countries. So that's why the growth of this industry is very important, because we have neighboring countries that import all the way from Asia, and we can do this for them, and we can import basics from the t-shirts to underwears and all these that they import all the way from Asia or the Americas. We can start doing that for Nigeria.